Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. I think once again, bringing this, light minds together. I'd be very fortunate having all the great speakers here, having so much of a vast experience from different domain. Our panel topic is on the digital transformation and how do we leverage AI, whatever space we are into. As I started, kind of a sharing my keynote in the line which we are taking forward this discussion with all the light panel members. Once again, I thank you, all of you, having in here and making this journey forward in terms of DT and AI space. Let me start with my first panel member. I'll start with ladies first. So Ashima. So, Ashima, having a vast experience, especially on your domain, my first questions to you, Ashima, saying that, since you have works across various industries, various geographies, and especially, as I said, large-scale transformation, from your perspective, what differentiates, as for you, in terms of, as I said, sometimes we look towards digitization, automations, and let's say today we are discussing about AI-led transformation. So over to you, Ashima.
So first, I'll like to thank the organizers, Sandeep and team, and a very warm welcome to everyone here. And once again, thank you, Gokulji, and everybody here in the panel. I don't know why I've been selected by him as the first one to start, but I'll do my best. As a business leader and an AI strategist, working at the intersection of industry, institution, and global partnerships, what I see today is that there's a powerful convergence happening of frontier research, safety architecture, enterprise execution, and ecosystem collaboration. Now, your AI-led transformations are being shaped not just by speed and scale, but also through governance by design, cross-border alignment, and responsible HCA, human-centric AI. In the field, when I look at it through practice, I would say that success is rarely attributed to technology itself. I think even Sir just mentioned it a little while ago. Because today, organizations largely have access to similar AI tools, platforms, and partners. But what separates struggle from success is structural execution, I think enterprise alignment, and clarity of business value. So successful, AI-led large-scale transformations, they largely depend on, I would say, how they're architected, governed, and operationalized across enterprises, across the entire enterprise. Now, few of the key differentiators that we say, which make an organization successful or the, the large-scale AI implementation successful, I just want to add here, today globally, there's just 2% of systems which have actually moved from a pilot to even a production level stage. So it's very minuscule. But even to reach that today, I think what differentiation the only thing that differentiates is that you need to select value-led use cases. So prioritize those initiatives which are linked to revenue growth, customer experience, I would say risk reduction, productivity enhancement. Why? Because we all know that AI, only if it is linked to a PNL, will it scale, and not just limited to a PowerPoint. So everything needs to be attached to a PNL.
No, thank you. I think absolutely on dot, Ashima ji. You brought out at least two very important points. She spoke about platform, partnership model, people, and also your priority, which is the use case, right? These are very important when you're looking for a no DT journey or transformational journey. So thank you, Ashima ji, on your starting note. Now let me change the track. Let me go to our HT colleague. So Mr. Rajiv, being a group CIO from HT, my questions to you is, today, if I see media organizations are rapidly evolving from traditional publishing models to AI-driven digital ecosystem. How is HT Media leveraging AI and especially the data analytics to enhance audience engagement, personalizations, and content kind of a monetization?
Thank you so much. Good morning to everyone. I think the question you have asked is actually a deep questions in terms of how the media organizations are integrating AI. I think most of the media organizations are the traditional organizations. They are integrating AI in terms of moving from a legacy to the digital make. ST is also in the same way. How we are engaging is we are integrating AI with the audience personalization, with the telemetry of the analytics which we can monetize, and of course since we work on the trust, the newspapers work on the trust. So one side we are trying to maintain the trust of the audience. The other side we are trying to make it more digital and more clear. So AI is integrating in terms of having user personalization, focusing more on the personalization. So if somebody is, let's say, is focused on financials, you will start getting the financial data only. Somebody is on the cricket or any kind of sports, you'll get those kind of personalized data due to the AI. However, along with that, we are also trying to build short forms, because now we have seen the changes with the Gen Z's adoption with the digital media and all. I think short videos, podcast probably help us in monetizing more through AI integrations and leaving the legacy and moving towards a digital transformation.
No, great. I think two things Mr. Rajiv brought out very clearly, saying that kind of he is coming from media side, building trust, ethics, when you are leveraging potential of AI, and especially when you are delivering content to the audiences, people at large. How do you personalize? I may be looking into the content differently. My requirement would be much different than, let's say, what the requirement of Ashima Kohli's requirement, right? So that's very important, I think. And also, along with the content, how do you engage? Especially the Gen Z, they are, at least I find most of the time, they are lost in terms of sea of information, right? So our biggest responsibility going forward would be, how do you curate, how do you filter and deliver to the Gen Z? Not violating the trust, not violating the ethics, not violating the flip side of AI, right? So let me come to our colleague from LTIMindtree, Mr. Umakant Tripathi ji. Now again, coming from a different set of organization, Umakant ji, my questions to you is, as a lot of organizations, including yours, accelerate AI adoption and digital transformation, at least what we are also experiencing is the attack surface, the APTs, growing day by day. What are the biggest cybersecurity risks emerging going forward from your experiences from this AI-led transformational initiatives what we are today? So if you could bring in your perspective on that.
So digital transformation, we are going to connect with the AI adoptions, just like it will be going to correlate just like CI/CD integrations. Continuation integration and continuous digitalizations. Lot of legacy applications move on to cloud and they are going to in AI automated mode. Just like a use case, Microsoft Azure. You are not required to physical server or anywhere. You need to run a AI-based script and your workload will be ready. And mainly monitoring of this particular, that is a one more challenge, where if you are integration of the AI in the beginning stage, then only you can find a value add on this. Because sometimes lot of gaps is there, misconfiguration also will be there, and sometimes you cannot see where the workload is running. Because right now is Microsoft natively AI tool is there, where you can see where the lot of resource being utilized. They are going to recommend to one more step ahead. You can reduce your workload and you can save the cost. So AI is one part is very good. Other part, if you are talking about in cybersecurity, you are opening door for hacker because cybersecurity expertise also they become a more expert while they using a PowerShell script or anything they can run and they can create within fraction of second. And so far, I think whenever the AI adoption happened in digital transformation, cybersecurity people were safe. I have not heard before that some people or you can say resource is going to reduce just because of AI adoption in cybersecurity. But while the recent mythos is started coming, then it is going to exploit for everything. Game is entirely changed. VAPT team or application security team not going to no more manual tasks. I think they are going to buy mythos model and they can exploit the vulnerabilities, zero day vulnerabilities. Even the Infosys or any other organization where the Finacle also they identified using running to mythos model and they are scared actually. Banking and finance sector, they are more scared because they are heavily believe in the application testing, red teaming activity and all of this. And that is entirely different now because they want to AI powered and the entire workload should shift to this kind of model. And even not in OpenAI, they are going to believe on the OEM where they can give the guardrail or you can say the control uses of AI governance model. Because AI, if you are going to implement in cybersecurity, one side you are protecting the door, other side you are opening for hackers. So this kind of model is, I think it is going to rapidly changing here. And banking especially, they are going to take a OEM back control. Either you, whatever AI model you are using, how it is going to protect. Because it is ultimately correlate with the Data Privacy Act also, where with the entire organization along with the, you can say the whatever the service provider or third party organization, they also equally responsible if any data breach will be happen. So it should go hands on hands, where you can to enable AI. Definitely it is good for this, and the rapid adoption of the AI also, that is one part of the challenge. But we need to pick and choose the selective AI tool which can guardrail or you can provide the governance for security layer. And this model, I think it is going to change heavily, and in coming days, I think you will see red teaming activity and VAPT space where we are going to use a trusted AI, and that is going to game changer of this activity. And apart from that, a lot of things are coming in very manual way, where the manual adoption definitely required, but consent also is required. If you are running something in AI, the entire workload within a second it will going to change, but consent should be there. Either this is the you can say the workaround which we are powered by AI, or we are going to implement using AI automations, then it is consent should be there. Otherwise, it is going to mess everything. Within a fraction of second, thousands of server is going to delete. And entire cybersecurity is going to collapse on this. This is my point of view.
No, absolutely. I think Umakantji brought out two to three very important points. One is when he brought out saying that he gave an example of kind of a CI/CD pipeline. That itself means that when you are leveraging AI, how you are cutting across, in terms of bringing that impact, bringing that kind of a outcome you are looking for. The second very important he brought out, saying that when you are looking AI on, I'll say, strengthening your security or privacy posture, you have to also be guarded enough, saying that the tools, the AI technology and the various tools and the models, very important, the models you are trying to leverage to strengthen your posture must not result in flip side of it. And for that to happen, I think he also brought out a point saying that, and probably which we are also doing in our day-to-day leveraging of AI, how do you bring that human oversight? How do you bring in something I call that SLM layer, which is your brain, which is your engine, that must be yours, that may not be and that must not be taken over by AI, right? So these are the two very important take what I find, and thank you, Mr. Tripathi. Now let's go to Mr. Rohit Gaur from Jubilant. Mr. Rohit? No, Mr. Rohit is not there. So then let me go to Mr. Himanshu Nayal. Himanshu? Again, okay, so many of the panelists are also missing. So Ashima I spoke about. So let's go to Mr. Joydeep. So Mr. Joydeep, coming from cloud and data center space especially, my question to you is, cloud infra is now the, if I foresee, the backbone of this AI adoption. How are your organization or how are your experience suggest here to the audience saying that the organizational journey or the various organizations redesigning their cloud and data center strategies to support something I call scalable AI workloads, and most important is, how do I bring in that data reporting and analytics layer on a real-time basis to various stakeholders so that I'm fully guarded with, right? So please tell us, how do you feel, and as per your experiences, how do organizations look forward towards that?
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning to the panelists and the entire crowd out here. So I would like to put it in a slightly different way. So for me, when I am talking about cloud is basically a infrastructure that that holds the data, the processing power, the code, the RAM, the storage, and everything. Now, AI I would also consider is as a tool, right? For me, ERP is a tool. For me, AI is a different kind of a tool. What is happening is that we have seen two major digital transformation journey. One is around 18, 19, when people have started moving from a legacy kind of a workload to more structured workload, which is ERP, and there was a huge amount of deployment of ERP which has happened during that period of time. The second transformation which has started off is during this phase when we are moving from that kind of an environment to more interactive kind of an environment, which is AI, with the help of AI. Now, what is more important in AI is basically to make AI work better, we must have huge amount of data at the back, because that is how you train the model, that is how you, I mean, without data, AI is nothing, because that's, and the way they learn, AI is basically the cognitive mode. So, one, in the previous kind of digital transformation, we have seen controlled growth of data, of compute resources, but when we are talking about AI, it's going to be exponential at a given point in time, because now you have huge amount of data has to be ingested, transaction happening left, right, and center. You'll be scraping data from here. The best part is that today we have 60% of data available globally is all structured. So that's one good thing that we have. But to make it available, we must have a robust, scalable environment. And that scalability can only come through cloud, because you don't, you know, today you probably need a set of, say, 10 servers to manage an ecosystem. Certainly you would require to have it scaled up to 20, 30, or even 100 servers. That is the scalability which can be provided by a cloud model, because that's scalable. You bring it down. I mean, in a given point in time, probably you like to bring it back to a certain level. So for me, the scalability can be 100% assured through a cloud ecosystem. B, you can actually create different security layers, because now we have loads of data which is, you know, open to exposures and so on and so forth. So you can have a controlled environment in a data center or a cloud. Sorry. So you can have a controlled environment where you can also have the security in place. So AI, security, and we're talking about availability of the infrastructure is extremely important. And that is where the organizations today are looking forward to have a much more scalable environment, and that's only possible through this cloud environment.
No, great. I think, again, Mr. Joydeep has brought out 2-3 very important points. How do you look cloud as a infra when you're leveraging AI? Especially what probably Mr. Joydeep brought out is how do you bring in that observability layer, right? And he also spoke about, do you really understand the data well when you are hosting something on the cloud? And I think, again, what we have gone through is the life cycle of data, you know, right at the capture, then you harness, process, store, retrieve. So unless you have that complete understanding and observability across, right, and then leveraging AI on the data sets, whatever platform, be it a cloud platform, your on-prem data centers, I think things become very, very difficult. The another point he definitely brought out is the scalability. How do you look into scalability? Today, the kind of workloads we experience, right? And various scenario. COVID was one of the scenario, various such scenario. Probably the ongoing conflict itself is another scenario. So various scenarios will kind of a generate or kind of a force you for a different kind of workloads to deal with, right? And is that such different scenarios, such different workloads, and then vis-a-vis, if you are looking towards cloud as a platform and AI as a potential. So if you can bring out that complete synergy, I think that's very important for all of us, right? So let me go to Mr. Sunil. Very good, Mr. Sunil. So you are the Chief Risk Officer, and especially from finance and banking sector. Yeah. So I think very important. Mr. Sunil is one of the person here who will tell us what about risks, what about risk assessment. Very important, right? So Mr. Sunil, my questions to you is, the financial sector is rapidly kind of embracing AI for underwriting, fraud detection, and absolutely for customer engagement. From a risk perspective, what safeguards are essential to ensure that responsible AI, I repeat, responsible AI, right, adoption in NBFCs and financial institutions you look forward?
Absolutely. Good afternoon to all. After hearing your inaugural speech, it came to mind that I should speak about mortgage loans, where customers predominantly mortgage their property for a long-term loan with a bank or a financial institution, so that the EMI burden is less and the tenure is more of this particular loan. In India, the mortgage to GDP stands at 16%, vis-a-vis and developed economy where it is at 55 to 60%. So in a developed economy, a guy mortgages his house or his property to invest the loan somewhere for better benefits. In India, it stands at 15%. To go to the next level, it's because the pain the guy undergoes, just like a passport you mentioned in the morning, a 45-day earlier is a 4-hour today. Mortgage loan, a customer decides on 1st January he wants a loan, and he gets the loan in his account on 21st January. 21 days to get a loan. So there is a need to innovate, there is a need to improve the customer experience. There is a need to build this with compliance in perspective, the RBI compliance in perspective, the customer interest and data security in perspective, and a portfolio building activity from a risk perspective. So we should leverage AI with human supervision. All the models of AI which we implement in execution, in underwriting, in fraud risk management, have to be based on logic, have to be very transparent, have to be explainable, have to be validated in real time, and they should justify the decision making faster. With this, the turnaround time for a customer experience comes down from 21 to probably 7, 8, 5, 6 days, and the entire cycle changes. So fraud, human supervision is required to eliminate the bias, to eliminate the skew which may come in the algorithm. So in mortgage loans, we can implement an AI algorithm to give me a value of a property in a tier 3 geography where there may be a fraud risk due to collusion. If you want to reach a tier 3 geography like Joru or Junjunu in North India or a Nandyal in Andhra Pradesh, you have to go by train to Kurnool, and from there you have to go by road 2.5 hours to reach that geography. So the probability of fraud in this tier 3 geography is very high. With an AI tool, we can get the valuation across the table in a few minutes. And we can use this as a benchmark to come to a loan with human supervision. It cannot be standalone. So I see a fantastic used case here in India, scalable like the passport service or the UPI, where we can make a difference with these transparent processes, transparent models in place, which are auditable, which are validated in real time, which are governed by some principles.
No, absolutely. I think Mr. Sunil has brought out 2-3 points very eminent here, saying that when you are looking for any sort of a kind of a leveraging, whether it is a financial sector or automation sector or let's say within the government ecosystem, very important point he brought out is when you are kind of a doing some analytics, predicting, collecting lot of data sets, processing, and then trying to generate some sort of a profiling before you, let's say, harness the scheme or the benefits you are looking for the customer or the citizens at large. In his case, let's say, his own customer. The risk assessment layer. And he also said that that risk assessment layer must be lying with the human oversight, right? And I think that is very important, which comes to my mind when you are looking for something I call speed and scale. These are the two very vital parameters for everything, whatever you do. The another two parameters are equally important. So that is something I call security and sustainability. If both of these sides, or it sits a kind of a one side of the coin, one side, let's say, speed and scale, other side of the coin is your security and sustainability. Even if you have reached that speed and scale, if you are not secure, if that trust is lost, and if you are not able to sustain over a time, I think things become completely untenable to exist, right? So that's very important, and thank you, Mr. Sunil, for bringing out this. So I come back, Ashima, to you, saying that in terms of today, what we are discussing here, there is, the next question to you, Ashima, is there is increasing discussion around, which I said when I was talking to Mr. Sunil, saying that responsible AI, right? And along with responsible AI, naturally, ethics become very important, which you call ethical governance. Now, this responsible AI and ethical governance, both, how are enterprise at large embedding trust, transparency, and compliance? These are three important factors: trust, transparency, and compliance. Any enterprise, it absolutely doesn't matter when they are adopting their AI strategies.
So I think today the conversation around responsible AI has already moved from an ethical and policy discussion. It has become a boardroom priority today, with focus on risk, reputation, growth, and governance. I think all leaders in this room and around are very aware of one fact, or one reality as I call it, that without trust, AI cannot scale. So there are certain recommendations or responses that organizations, especially 4 of them, that organizations are following to ensure that transparency, trust, and accountability are embedded in their AI strategies and through the AI transformations phase. First one is governance by design, or design your governance that evolves with capability and agility, which means that embed your controls in the initial stage, not post-deployment. Do not retrofit for an audit process later on, right? So there's a shift happening from rule-based policies now to implementing principle-based frameworks, which mandate responsible development, deployment, AI oversight, because they center around the core values of fairness, accountability, transparency, safety, privacy, which is generally coined as a term called responsible AI. Also, I want to add here, a lot of us participated in the AI summit, which happened recently, right? A lot of cross countries, inter countries, MOUs got signed. So there's a huge in parallel shift happening with a lot of focus on digital trusted corridors between nations. So soon we will see that these principle-based frameworks will also move to interoperable negotiated frameworks. Secondly, I believe that there needs to be a clear accountability and traceability. What I mean is that every AI output needs to be linked to a human decision owner with a clear audit trail. So human in loop is not something which needs to be only at a risk assessment layer. No, it needs to become central. And therefore, we've moved from Gen AI to agentic AI to something being called as human-centric AI today, and responsible human-centric AI. Otherwise, we will have black box scenarios. So this is the second one, because whenever we say that, if everybody will own AI, then actually nobody owns AI. Literally. And also, governance will become more theoretical than operational. Thirdly, I say that the human-centric AI with continuous monitoring is important, because AI is a living capability. It is not something that, like a tool that you install and leave it and forget it. You need to continuously supervise for biases, hallucinations, cyber and regulatory risks, for data, for drifts, correct? Today. And therefore, I also will say that, a lot of people are continuously skeptical about humans suddenly becoming out of the loop, while I completely believe the other way around. Not fully, I would say yes, humans will become out of the loop for a certain autonomous kind of task, but instead, human expertise is becoming central to AI scale implementations today. One needs to keep them at the center. And prioritize trust, transparency, and accountability. Only through humans this is possible. It will help ensure that AI handles the complex and high-end autonomous tasks while humans are responsible for the final outcomes, for validating decisions, for steering the strategy. Else we will end up in black box scenarios and a lot of failures and risk exposures. Fourthly, I'll say that trust has become a strategic growth enabler in every organization. It is called a growth strategy today. Best of the organizations are no longer choosing between speed and responsibility. Wherever we are seeing transformations where AI at scale are being deployed and being successful are those organizations where innovation is being combined with accountability. And they say, you need to balance between speed and governance. Why? Because speed without control will create risk, and control without risk can destroy your momentum and value. So therefore, I really believe that the opportunity ahead lies only with those organizations or those people who will build systems, responsible systems, which can be trusted and aligned by others. So we are in this world of us. It's the other way around now. Platforms are being developed, where others need to align with us. So thank you.
No, thank you. I think she brought out very, very important factors, 4 important factors. And I think leveraging the potential of not only AI, but all of these latest technologies we are into, including AI, all of them are very, very important, equally, kind of it's a intrinsic, I'll say. It's a intrinsic to when you are harnessing these latest technologies and AI. The another very important comes to my mind when she brought out these 4 important factors. If you see globally too, and she also spoke about how is that cross-border kind of alliances are evolving in terms of dealing with this kind of a technology which has no boundary, I'll say, right? And country at large, how we are evolving, and I think many of the forum I have spoken before, saying that if I look into the Western way of AI journey, mostly, I'll say mostly it is commercially heavy. If I look into European way of AI journey, mostly I'll say it is compliances heavy, right? And if you look our way of AI journey, which she brought out, our way of AI journey, which we call responsible AI journey, must be built on trust and ethics. Because our way of looking AI, country at large, I started with my keynote saying that the kind of problems we are dealing with, the kind of scale we are dealing with, the kind of variations we are dealing with, our way of leveraging AI will be completely different than others. So let me come to, once again, our colleague from HT, Mr. Rajiv. Again, when I see into the media at large, with the growing influence of, I'll say, generative AI in journalism and content creation especially, how do you balance innovation impact with concerns around editorial authenticity, misalignment and misinformation, and also especially the responsible AI governance?
Thank you so much. I think I'll start with the responsible AI. So within ST, we follow our rule which is known as AI assist, editors decide. Why we are using this? Because in this particular industry, we would have probably lots of contents which are not trustable. Deepfakes are there. the news which is getting published are you know, morphed, or the you know, mm, mm, some part of the contents are modified in a way that it looks like it is, right? How we are doing it, and that's why we are using this AI assist. However, the editors decides. Now, when we say this, this means we have the integrations, the AI integrations, and we are trying to make it more responsible AI integrations, where even if the news are coming, there are the mechanism to test whether what is the authenticity of the news, whether the podcast which is happening within the news, whether the podcaster is real, is he talking what actually is happening. So there are mechanism, and that's how the AI is, you know, helping us in terms of identification of the news, deepfakes, morphed news, morphed images, uh, because that is impacting the business also. If it gets passed, that will impact the business in a bigger way. Now, when we again look back and see how it can, you know, help us more in terms of monetization, I think AI, through AI, we are using content generations, monitored definitely by human involved over there. We are doing some, you know, tricky podcast, which you know, get published. Of course, we're using SEOs. We are using multiple social media platforms to make it more aware with the users, along with our own websites and mobile apps. But if you go to the ST mobile app, you'll see a lot of AI analytics, lot of content is AI generated, but it has a human touch. Otherwise, you'll have the same content, same news from all other competitions, all other media houses. So everybody, I mean, it's not about the ST. I think everybody within the media, I think they are using AI responsibly. They are trying to framework a governance, which we also are doing it, because now the DPDP, we are significant data fiduciaries also in terms of having the data. And both ways, both the PIS as well as on the kids side. So we are very cautious. We are cautious that way, and framing the governance in a way that while it assists us, it gives the monetization value. The content has to be natural. The content has to be authentic. That's all.
No, good. I think a very, again, important takeaway saying that, see, while potential of AI and kind of especially coming from, let's say, media side, he was guarding us, saying that, you know, in terms of AI itself is used so heavily to create frauds, to create deep facts, right? And then, no, spreading it like a fire. And today, if you ask me, the deep fakes especially and frauds are, especially the deep fakes are something I call so deep in fakes, right? And so fake in depth, both. Right? It completely elude you, right? So then it's very difficult unless he rightly brought out saying that unless you bring that human oversight, unless you bring that human layer, who is the final authority? Who should be the final call taking? And then since this is being kind of a created, delivered towards masses across, especially Gen Z. Imagine a scenario getting those defects to them. Imagine a scenario which they take, or someone is able to elude them in terms of taking some decisions, right? And see the havoc it can create. I think so that is where, while we are encasing these opportunities, when we are leveraging these technologies, all of us, I'll not say single out someone people like, let's say, what we are sitting here, all of us, it is our responsibility, and whatever possible way, I mean, you can add value into it. Once I was just telling a student group, saying that, do you even understand, saying that the Google search you do every day, how much you are adding into the potential of technology, the potential of AI, right? One Google search and millions and billions of Google search now you all are doing, you know, how much data bank you are creating, right? So I think we have a long journey to travel. Things will evolve. It's a continuous, I'll say, evolution process. Someone asked me saying that, give me an example saying that, which is one AI or one use case which transforms everything what you should thought of. I said, no, nothing of that sort. I said, it's a evolution process. It's a journey. How can I quote you one AI transform everything? So it's an evolution process. We all need to digest. We all need to adapt. We make it responsible, trust, ethical. So I think
I'll add one more interesting
please.
figure for everyone's visibility. So we did a survey around 6 months back with the Gen Zs on what kind of contents they prefer. Are they checking the authenticity, not checking the authenticity and all? And we realized that 53% of the Gen Z populations are believing those contents in first sight only. You know, they don't even figure it out whether this content is natural, this content is fabricated. They don't even care about that. So see how it is, you know, integrated with these generations. I mean numbers is too high.
Absolutely.
I think just to add here, I know the focus is largely on Gen Z, but I'm also very skeptical about the platinum or our senior citizens,
No,
right?
absolutely.
Because they are much more novice.
Ashima,
They
they
are
are
not
another
digital.
Gen Z category, you know?
Yeah,
They are
in a
also
way,
Gen Z.
but you know, Gen Zs are still tech savvy to
Yeah.
start with, but these people are really getting scammed. So
that's
for
right.
me, that's another
Concern
area,
area, yes.
yeah, huge. And they're very curious in learning, and the age
Absolutely.
longevity has considerably increased, right? Today, average Indians are living up to 80s. So I think that's another area where you may
Absolutely.
want to survey and look into
Absolutely.
it. You may see some drastic numbers there.
Absolutely. I think things becoming very interesting. In fact, this is the way discussion should be. Whether it is Gen Z, whether it is senior citizens, whether it is blue-collar citizens, right? They don't even understand what you are delivering them. So how you do make them understand whatever way they understand, right? If I speak Bhojpuri, if I speak Assamese, I must be delivered on my way, not your way, the way you feel it is a highway. That should not be, right? So, yeah, so let me come back to Mr. Sudeep. Uh, yes, Mr. Sudeep, the next question to you is, no, Joydeep, sorry. Mr. Joydeep, the next question to you is, as enterprises move toward hybrid and multi-cloud environments, what are the key challenges around performance, governance, cost optimization that mostly all of CXOs, as I started with saying that, we look forward?
So a very interesting question, actually. So there are two parts of the organization. One is, of course, the management, and the second part is us. We manage the IT, so all the CIOs and CTOs here. So the management would like to have cost under control, and we have to deliver the best out of the technology. So there's a better way of doing is that we spread it across on a spreadsheet, and we try to do our TCO, total cost of ownership, over a period of 5 years. Now, while we do that, we take into consideration, of course, the cost of the infrastructure or the services that we are getting over a period of time, plus the business in a part of it, the cost. Now, we have to ensure this. For instance, AI, it has its own kind of requirement, scalability, dynamic scalability, of course. We have to figure it out whether it can be delivered through an on-premise environment, or it has to be moved to cloud, or probably we can do a hybrid. For every organization, these calculations and these structures is different. I mean, what kind of organization you are in. So for instance, there is in finance, and then we have person from media. Now, there cannot be one kind of a solution for every organization. Every organization would have their own kind of characteristics, requirement, and of course, even the AI has to be modeled in a way, which has its own, output benefit. So there's no thumb rule, of course, but then the best part is that you must put it on a sheet and try to figure it out how much it would cost over a period of 5 years, and that's the safest way of getting the calculation done. And I'm sure that everybody here would be doing it in that way. That's how it actually works. So when we do that, we try to figure out multiple things. Of course, there are decisions, like, there are basically 3 kind of decisions. One is, do I go complete on-prem, I do complete cloud, or I do a hybrid? I always say that if you are currently running on-prem, certain applications cannot be easily moved to cloud. It's not just a switch off and switch on kind of a thing. There has to be a journey over a period of maybe 6 months or a year. There are adoption that has to be made. There are model changes that has to be made. Taking into consideration the cost. So for me, if I have to make it very simple, yes, we have to figure out the total cost of ownership vis-a-vis the demand of the architecture and the infrastructure. We just can't say that, no, I mean, we have to adopt it just because it's financially viable, or maybe I just go back and say that, no, even if it is financially unviable, I have to take this model up, because it's a delicate balance based on the business that you are in.
No, absolutely. I think Mr. Joydeep has make it even more interesting, saying that when you are evolving with this kind of various models, and these models would vary, absolutely you are right. It cannot be one base rule applied to all, right? And what I also see is, when we are evolving with this kind of various models, or hybrid model, or could be complete on-prem, or maybe complete cloud way, it's all depends upon what kind of use case you have, what kind of problem statement you are dealing with. One of my favorite kind of a quote, which I have again spoken many times, saying that you must understand those 5 W's, I said. And what are those 5 W's? To start with, your workload, your workforce, your workspace, your workflow, the kind of application you are building it, and the web you are dealing with. So if you be able to categorize, segregate, justify, classify, identify well all of these 5 W's, I think the model will evolve, whether it is hybrid model, multi-way, would fit well. And that's how the learning should be. It cannot be you simply adapt something just because of some consultant approached you or some vendor approached you.
It has to be rational, actually, in sense.
So that brain should be always yours. That cannot be outsourced to any consultant, that cannot be outsourced to any vendor, that cannot take away by AI, that cannot be taken away by any product and portfolios.
No, even if it is outsourced to a consultant, it has to be an honest feedback given to the customer, saying that, look, this is what your requirement is, and this is how it is placed.
So we are coming back saying that human brain should be your.
Yeah, but it's just that it's unfortunate. Board usually wants to give a lot of big fours a lot of money to just put a tick in the box, right?
No, I'm not.
And I think that's where our responsibility as a forum comes in, to be able to take it as a report, because that's also important to live in that ecosystem. But do, as you rightly said, what's necessary.
I think, if Mr. Sandeep is around, I think these are the takeaways we must bring out somewhere as kind of a learnings of these events, or because there are a lot of minds who are speaking their experience. There is nothing theory about it. There is nothing kind of a statement about it. Probably you all are speaking our experiences, what we have realized, what we have gone through, what we feel. Again, I'll repeat, what we feel per our experiences should be the best way to move forward. But again, as I said, final call is yours. That we are not taking it away. So coming back to Mr. Sunil, I think the next question to you is, Mr. Sunil, because since you are coming from a financial sector, and since I have worked on a regulatory side, especially in banking scenario as a bank, so my question to you is, how do you see AI reshaping enterprise risk management, particularly in areas such as, because AI, we are doing a lot of predictions, so AI, when it is doing predictive compliances, there are a lot of financial crime monitoring you might be doing, and also you definitely be taking care of a lot of regulatory reporting. So how do you foresee that, Mr. Sunil?
I foresee a great use case in AI implementation in the finance industry. Right from origination of a loan to underwriting a loan to disbursing the loan, post-disbursement collections, after that financial reporting, and after that HR managing human resources. So AI models can be implemented to ensure minimum manual intervention when it comes to these reports, because these are standardized reports which we get from each department, and at a CXO level we get a view of the entire enterprise and risk across each enterprise and the correlated risk across all the various departments in our organization, to see what best practices we can implement. So manual supervision once again would be required, but manual intervention need not be required, because these are standardized reports which are required from a governance compliance perspective. This will give confidence to the regulator also when he visits a finance company, to see that these AI tools are in place to give us a prediction and a prescription before any fraud occurs, before any crime occurs. We know that this is going to happen. This is there in store. It's about the data integrity and data anonymity that has to be maintained as a caution. But from a governance and compliance perspective, there is an excellent use case for enterprise risk management or implementation of an ISO framework or a COSO framework in the financial industry. So it's a very good use case, and it should be in place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, since in my current dispensation and current role, I am looking after a global scenario when it comes to compliances, whether it is GDPR, whether it is HIPAA, there are various kind of compliances we are dealing. And if I see the global scenario in terms of compliances, in terms of adherence of those compliances, whether it is GDPR, whether it is DPDP, you know the crux, where is the crux when you are dealing with sensitive and critical data sets? The biggest thing is to how do you protect that sovereignty, I say. Sovereignty in terms of dealing with the citizens, sovereignty in terms of dealing with the data, sovereignty in terms of dealing with the governance, right? If you start building around your journey, your ecosystem around that sovereignty, fully guarded, fully protected, fully assured, I think rest all things falls in line. But then it's not that easy, what I'm saying. These words are to listen, it will be kind of a music to your ears, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Even to identify that sovereignty itself not easy. Forget about building a solution, right? So I think these are the takeaways what we are finding here. So my last question to Mr. Umakant ji is, since Umakant ji has worked extensively on the cybersecurity space, my questions to you is particularly in terms of predictive threat intelligence. Even the SOC, we are doing kind of SOC automation, and also proactive risk mitigation. All three sectors, how do you see AI transforming cyber defense strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, if you're talking about majority of cyber attack is happening AI-powered attack, and it is massive actually in the count. Earlier, manual attack was happening, but right now, every hackers and community they are using a AI-powered attack. And as a cyber defense strategy, I think we need to follow, where at least our recommendation that we need to use AI, native AI capabilities, not from the outsource, either in-house, own LLMs, AI tools, or you can say any OEM provided governance AI tools where we can use a integration perspective. AI is going to provide with the combination of automations. So AI automation, I think it is going to predictive analytic whenever any compromise is happening. And the majority of, as of now, we can using a cloud-based infrastructure. Then principally we should do zero trust architecture way. And if you are using a 100% cloud-based architecture, then the recommendation that you have to use a micro-segmentation, because micro-segmentation only the possible way where you can stop if any one layer is got compromised, the attacker cannot move within your network. They cannot go here and there. So I think that is a recommendation point of view. And right now, if you're talking about intelligent AI, whenever the user is doing to cross-check with the two different kind of tools, just like a SIM, SOAR, threat intelligent, or you can say XDR. But while using a intelligent AI, it is already going to provide to the curated attack. So maybe false positive is going to reduce. It is the precisely attack is going to publish on your dashboard or whatever. Then your time will be going to increase, where you can put a time to investigate, collecting evidence from different source using a automation capability, because earlier you need to run a query from different tools. You need to collect the evidences from different tools, and then only you can conclude it. But here, I think the curated threat feed, it is going to provide you done lot of job, and it is going to exactly mark that this is the right set of the attack is happen. And based on that, we can prepare our roadmap where automation will come to the picture, where we can put the recommendation while we using AI, one or two. Sometime attacker, you can say the attacker may be going to attack it, but the user point of view, they are not able to understand, just like a phishing attack or anything, what step they need to perform. As earlier, the analyst layer was clueless. But while we using AI, or you can say the automation, it is going to provide what step we need to perform, which source of device it is this kind of attack, and what exactly we need to do the prevention of this attack. This kind of hint we are getting, and it is going to vary in the not reactive way, but predictive manner, where if any attack, or you can say the pattern is happening, it can predict exactly how much time it is going to, this kind of attack is going to repeat it. Apart from that, using AI, one set of story. Other set where the leverage of AI in cybersecurity, it is going to lot of risk also, because AI poisoning also is happening. Attacker also going to compromise. AI traffic also they can malicious, where the right set of information passing between two applications, it is going to compromise. And apart from that, just like prevention of email, wherever the majority of phishing email, I think if you are using AI without any human intervention, that the email will be flagged automatically. A lot of noise will be reduced, but definitely we need to work a lot of things where we have to referential advisory also attack will be there, where we need to validate either. Sometime the false positive will be there based on the AI pattern. Some pattern is detected, and that may be wrong set of LLM we are using, but it is going to flag is wrongly. So I think this kind of scenario we need to be prepared and protect the whatever attack is happening. This way, I think we can address the challenge. But lot of things, again, my recommendation that using AI in the control way, because one side you protecting IP data while masking to it, other side you exposing to proprietary information to the, just using some benefit from AI, you are going to compromise your security postures. That is my point.
No, thank you. I think he brought out 2, 3 very valid and very important facts, saying that when you're looking into the cybersecurity posture at large for your organization, for whatever project or programs you are taking in care of, and in an overall sense, and then potential of harnessing the potential of AI for your defense strategies. Again, there is no kind of a straight solutions to that. The cybersecurity postures, threat vectors, attack surfaces are becoming more and more sophisticated, the more and more you are harnessing the potential of these latest and new technologies, including AI. And therefore, I think that the best way should be, the best way forward should be in terms of leveraging AI itself for strengthening your posture, strengthening your cybersecurity defense, strengthening your strategies towards cybersecurity. Would be, again, saying that when you are leveraging AI, it is connecting with multiple data sets in the form of LLMs. But as I rightly said, whatever you are taking help of those LLMs and then AI, that SLM should be yours, that brain should be yours. Any prediction, any patterns will come to you, and these tools, these technologies will help you to get those patterns, get those predictions, even before maybe you have not even imagined for. But just because you have got a prediction doesn't mean that it is absolutely kind of a good and right for you to act, right? And that's where you come into picture. That's where human oversight comes into picture. And that's where probably leveraging these potentials comes, saying that where you stand among all of these technologies and tools we are leveraging for, especially the AI journey we are into. I think we have finished 2 rounds of kind of interaction, I'll say. There are a lot of deliveries and takeaways, but I must take maximum 3 questions from audiences, if you all have, to any of the speakers we have, at any of the panel members. You are free to respond to their queries. So any questions from any audience here? Because we would like to maybe take 3 max questions. Anyone, please? The organizer, if they have any questions.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you the entire panel members for such a enlightening discussion today. And sir, for the keynote also, that was very, passport and this Digi Yatra, something, I really appreciate, made our life really easy. So AI, we are talking about AI and a lot being said about AI, and as of now also, as so far, whatever experience I have working in AI, the ROI is still a challenge. So to justify that we are really getting a ROI out of AI is still a challenge. So now, the second aspect is come to what kind of user benefit we are able to create. So to justify ROI, I think still it will take some couple of more years, at least in our industry. But are you guys also evaluating in some way that what kind of user problem and how effectively the user problem, whether the user can be internal also and the external also, how effectively we are solving a user problem. Are we doing any kind of analysis, research for that to, as an alternate to a ROI? Definitely ROI is always, on us that prove the ROI. But are we trying to do it through a way of user research that's saying that this is the problem which was existing and now we have solved it completely? Is that the way you look at this, the AI?
All right, good question actually. So there are different kind of AI models that we work with. So, vision AI, agentic AI, and so the requirement actually, the biggest problem as on date, like what Ashima was saying, it's only 2% adoption of AI, which has probably happened. I'm saying probably happened because most of the things are all on the POC kind of an environment, because we're still in a phase where we are trying to understand what exactly the outcome of AI would be. And that's the biggest challenge actually. We don't know actually, because a lot of time I'm interacting with my clients and with my customers saying that, see, I wanted to deploy AI. My management is saying that, okay, this is a fancy thing, AI, why don't you deploy it? Now, where do I deploy AI? I mean, that's important. So we are actually sitting with our customers, with our associates and saying that, look, you have to understand this entire process, your journey. It is not a product, that I bring in this product. It's not ChatGPT for that matters. These are enterprise AI adoption that you have to do. But if I have to answer the question that you have, so there are multiple ways you can deploy it. So HR can be probably one area where you can look forward to have AI deployment. Business development is one area where you can actually look for. There are predictive AIs which are happening. So for instance, only I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I got a news. It was interesting actually. The government of India, the Meteorological Department and Ministry of Earth Science, along with 2 more agencies, I'm just forgetting the name, they have started a pilot deployment in Noida where they are going to do a meteorological forecast of rains happening within a range of 1 kilometer, just 1 kilometer actually. So understand the kind of advantage that they would bring in when you have an knowledge of, and that too happening 10 days prior to, 10 days in advance. If you have the data coming in, and if you're utilizing the data in a right way, then you can actually make a lot of difference. But AI can generate data, AI can give you the information, you have to use it. So the adoption, you must understand what will I do with the data coming in. So that's how the thing has to, so we have to change ourselves in a way. We start adopting and we start consuming the AI data. Right. I know it's going to take a little bit of time for us to also understand, us in the sense with the community to understand how the thing would work. But that was a nice example. I mean, like these people are actually doing a fantastic thing. If they can do it, a predictive analysis of what's happening there, then probably they can actually plan the traffic, the routes. They can probably plan, how the ecosystem would be, made clear. I mean, and so on and so forth. So, if that answers your question.
I'll just add here that I think Joydeep just said something beautifully, that AI has become a misnomer, I feel. We're talking too much about it without even understanding really what can be the benefit of it. Just to start with, AI should be leveraged as a tool. As simple as that. We don't need to complicate it. Everything doesn't need to have AI. Where it's not required, please don't use it. There are a lot of pros and cons to it. We today, being in the technology industry, encourage, I would say, our employees, please, I'm quoting, encourage our employees not to use AI to create emails. Why? Because there's a huge compute going behind it, right? There's a huge energy loss happening. please use AI where it is required, where you see an ROI or where you see a productivity enhancement really happening. Yes, to your industry, there may not be currently too many use cases, but AI has made a lot of difference in the pharmaceutical industry today, in research work, right? We all are aware in the medical industry, in legal industry, wherever documentation is huge. Those are largely very, very huge use cases where today AI is being used and being used in good ways, right? Other than that, automotive industry is using it from manual perspective, maintenance perspective. There are a lot of use cases where AI has moved from a pilot stage to production stage as well. But can we call it that AI can be used across an enterprise? No, it depends on your use case. It could be from an assistant chat bot within your, organization. But by and large, it needs to be very specific to what it is, like a hyper-personalized feature or, use case again, as we call it, where it can be applied. I would just request everybody not to look at it that क्योंकि AI चाहिए तो सब जगह ही लगना चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं है. That's all is my request to the audience here.
Thank you. I think very well sum up. So because of paucity of time, I'm not going for further questions, but rather I'll come back to all my panel members. Each panel members from each one of you, if I request your closing remarks in one sentence, what would be your closing remarks? I'll start with Joydeep.
Adopt AI rationally.
Ashima.
I will say convene, align, and build.
So one point actually, if you are talking about there is no ROI on AI, so the one company recently, lighter note, one company released 12,000 resource and they want to invest this money for AI and research purpose. That is Oracle, I think. So that is one part of ROI. Apart from usage of AI wherever is required actually, not for everywhere. That is my one point.
I think AI make it responsibly and make it as a assistive AI.
Great.
Yeah. I would encourage AI implementation in the finance industry with human supervision. This will help the end use, the customer, get a loan faster, which will add to our GDP and our growth.
Great. Yeah.
If I can just put, this whole panel has been very long. On a lighter note, most people would have watched the movie Dhurandhar, right? And there's a very nice dialogue there. Bacha hai tu mera. So agents are like your children, another resource to be utilized, right? So please consider it like that only. Is
Great.
my humble
No.
submission again to everybody.
Great example. So my one-liner should be the real power AI, what I foresee is not about replacing humans, but the real power of AI would be augmenting human intelligence at a scale. So that is the way we should look into the AI potential. I think we are done with. It's a great panel. I'm really privileged and happy to be interacting with all of you. Great audience, listening so patiently, and I'm sure there are great takeaways from all of us. So thank you once again, Plus One Media, for having us here. Thank you.